Yeah, this is actually a video on a more serious topic. Let me just mute the TV for a little bit. Okay, it's muted. You know, if you know me very well, I didn't come into this world for little and nothing at all, but I've realized that nothing is handed to me just right then and there as far as your success, your accomplishments, the respect from your friends and family and peers and stuff like that. Those don't get handed to you overnight, I realize, because in my situation, I had to really work at it to make those things happen, but there are times, in the past, and not many people can quite understand it really, that, people, it's like you go out there, you put yourself out there, and you work your ass off and put out the best product as far as I'm concerned on social media or anywhere else, but you just get little in return from the people you're surrounded by, This is the reason why I'm gonna do this video for you guys. Facebook. We've seen dozens and dozens of different YouTube videos and other places where people or individual people, male, female, white, black, Latino, Asian, gay, straight, bi, anybody, even people with disabilities, they ranted about why they don't like Facebook. And this is the first time I'm going to do a video why I don't like Facebook, basically. Why I fucking hate it, basically, sometimes, And excuse my language, I'm not the most politically correct person in a sense, I'm a very outspoken, very direct individual. I'm not a tactful person, so if you're gonna look at me and think I'm a tactful person, that's not really true. The only time I'm ever tactful with somebody is if I had a legitimate reason to do so. Like, let's just say they pissed me off, or they did something wrong to a friend of mine and stuff like that, or they're just full of shit themselves and they just do a good job at doing that, really. I'm not a tactful person, but this is why I don't like Facebook sometimes. Number one, what I don't like about Facebook, really, okay, this is one thing that some people can relate to, actually, some people can actually relate to this, but it's more likely something that you just move on forward after a long while. You don't really think about it as much. I've met a lot of people in the 30 years I lived during this life, in God's green earth. I've met great people, shitty people, people from San Francisco, New York, Texas, England, Japan, Taiwan, Mexico, all over, man. And I've met also a lot of people everywhere I went. I don't remember their names clearly from the top of my head, all these millions of people I've met in my life, but I've met enough people in my life to basically say, yeah, I've done that in my life, really, But what bothers me about the whole Facebook thing is sometimes there's people you don't really remember, don't think about too much when you're checking your page, but knowing me, since I'm a Scorpio, I remember things very well. If you do something that really catches me off guard, I will remember it once it's brought up, and I won't forget about it, really, And I wouldn't say I would forgive that easily. Well, I'm the type of person who doesn't forgive that easily, basically, But this is more of a trivial matter, depending on how you look at it. I don't like it when you add someone on Facebook. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl, male, female, man, woman. It could be someone from your hometown or far away. It doesn't really matter, You just meet this person. You add them on Facebook. You send them a friend request, and suddenly, maybe a day or 3 days or a week after, boom, you're unfriended. And the worst part about it is they keep their mutual friends except you. To be honest with you, I always thought that's a very stupid reason to unfriend someone, really, because it's not a real legitimate reason. For me, when I unfriend someone, it's a very legitimate reason. It could be an ex-girlfriend treating me horrible in the end. Someone's actually threatening to kill me on social media through private messages. People giving me shit on social media, not even encouraging what I want to do with my life. They're just being all negative, being such a skeptic, or doubter, saying, you're never gonna amount to anything in life, Patrick. Those are legitimate reasons to unfriend someone. But if you're gonna unfriend someone because, like, for no reason, let's just say I add this person, you know, because I met them at a rave or at a bar or something like that. Next day, 2 days, 3 days afterwards, bam, unfriended. That's the most fucking lamest excuse to unfriend someone, really. But those are things that basically that only hurt me in the short run, not in the long run, because it pretty much shows you how much of a fucking stupid character they have inside, and as far as their personality goes. It just gives you that first impression what they're really like. They pretend to be nice to you, but they treat you like this in the end. It shows you what kind of character they really are. I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything like that, but it just leaves you this very sour first impression on you once that thing is done. When you check your Facebook, once you wake up right at 10 in the morning on your phone or your laptop or iPad, you know. I really don't understand why people would unfriend someone for a non-legitimate reason right after you meet them in person somewhere in public. Or in general, basically. I mean, to be honest with you, when you unfriend someone because, oh, I don't talk to you that much, or, you know, or something you post up every time on Facebook on a daily basis, and you're just like, oh my god, here goes Patrick again writing about why he hates being single. If you don't like what I post up, you're free to unfriend me. But if you're just gonna unfriend me basically because after a few days or a week afterwards or something like that, or you unfriend me because of a non-legitimate reason, like we just met, you just unfriend me the next day or 2 days afterwards, then honestly, you're retarded, you know. But that's just me speaking, because, you know, I only unfriend someone on Facebook or block them if I have a legitimate reason to do so, you know. If I don't have a legitimate reason to do something like that, I wouldn't unfriend them whatsoever, you know. I wouldn't unfriend someone because they don't talk to me that much on Facebook or anything like that. I mean, I had a bad experience with my middle school. A lot of people who know me very well, I had a really rough time at Rooftop. But I wouldn't unfriend them because they don't talk to me that much on Facebook, even though it kind of does leave a sour taste in my mouth. Those are not really legitimate reasons to unfriend someone, because they're not directly harming me in some way, you know. So there's no reason to unfriend someone. Which goes to number 2. You know, if you're on social media and stuff like that, you kind of expect a little bit of more appreciation from your peers and your loved ones and your family members for what you're doing in life. Here's one thing that really irks me about Facebook, basically, you know. It really irks me. Like, if I were the police, I would basically put handcuffs on them and basically you taser them like a motherfucker. Not saying, and I don't agree with police brutality whatsoever, but it just gives you that scenario, like how you really feel deep down when you're surrounded by a lot of people in your life, but they're not as genuine as you think they are. I've had the dubious, unfortunate honor of having to deal with a lot of people who took me for granted and stuff like that, not just on Facebook, but in real life. This is what I really fucking hate about the social media. Like, let's just say you grew up in a very big city like San Francisco, New York, Los Angeles, and stuff like that. You met so many great people in this scene you live in, because it's one of the hottest spots around where you live, and you're a people person, but you like to prove what you're worth to others. I know you shouldn't care what other people think and stuff like that, and you should always be very carefully degaff about it, but, you know, don't you just hate it when you post up a lot of things on Facebook and they're fucking relevant as a motherfucker, and you have maybe what, 600, 700, 800, 900, so forth, friends from your hometown looking at it. They don't click the like button, they never comment on it, but your best friend or your homeboy, your homegirl, they post up something, you know, boom, 20 likes and stuff like that. That's a really evil. That's one of the biggest sins of Facebook from your friends. It's a very clicky kind of thing, you know, and I really fucking hate it, honestly. I really fucking hate when you post up a lot of good stuff on your page that is very fucking relevant on your fucking goddamn profile. You're just venting away. You're posting about meaningful stuff, good music, things that are relevant to today's generation. But when your best friend or your homeboy, homegirl posts up a status, either related to it or something in general, basically, boom, click, 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 30 likes, 40 likes, and most of them come from your people from your friends list on Facebook. I really fucking hate that shit, man. Like, it shows you how disingenuous and and very ungrateful some of your friends can be in this situation, because you hang out and they say you're a cool guy and stuff like that, and you know, they say you're an awesome guy and stuff like that. You're a really great person, but behind closed doors, they're not paying attention to you. Even though the spotlight doesn't revolve around one person, they're not paying attention to you on Facebook, but rather they focus on your best friend or your other friends from the scene. That's really ungrateful and disingenuous. I almost fucking hate it to the point where it's really like, you know, it really makes you lose trust in people. It makes you think like you're taken for granted from your own friends. Like, it makes you get these second thoughts and being so hard on yourself that they don't really care about you, or they just think you're a loser, or just you're never gonna amount to anything in life. That's something, you know, that really shouldn't be. It's one of the things I really fucking hate, even as a 30-year-old. I know it's kind of immature to do that, but I have my reasons. Because it makes you think, where have all the genuine people gone in this generation we live in? Where are all the real people in our lives that really appreciate you for what you're worth and everything that's true about you deep down, you know? I mean, of course, you're a little weird and a little nutty and a little quirky, you know, but they should at least give you more props, because you're the type of guy who worked 30 hard long years to get somewhere in this life, and you should be given a pat on the back from more people. I mean, this is something that a lot of rock bands struggle with too. They're basically what you call underrated rock bands, because the Velvet Underground suffered through this same misfortune during their peak in the late 60s and early 70s. It wasn't until like 30 years afterwards that they started becoming more appreciative for what they're worth and what they did, you know? It's really disingenuous and ungrateful that your friends would do something like that to you on social media. The clickiness needs to fucking stop, you know? It needs to fucking stop. They really need to take time to sit their ass down, calm their fucking penis and tits, and actually get to know you better as a person deep down, and truly be open-minded to what you're doing in life and what you're really trying to express in this fucking platform on the internet, you know? And unfortunately, we meet a lot of disingenuous people in this world, really. People have become so jaded and selfish and stuck to themselves in recent time that they have no time to, like, appreciate real people anymore in society or in general. Like, look at me, I'm a Taiwanese guy, and I'm basically one of the most realist motherfuckers out there. And sadly, most of your mutual friends don't like your Facebook. It's like, that's really ungrateful of them. And it's one of the most unforgivable sins in God's world, you know? One of the most, but that's something I don't want to get into because I'm not a religious person. That's something they'll have to answer to God when they die, basically, if God even exists, you know? But that's safe for a different video. But number 3 is what I want to talk about is number 3. The whole emphasis that likes matter on Facebook, you know? I mean, this is contrary to number 2, but I hate the whole fact that, you know, likes there's this thing called Facebook likes, you know? MySpace did not have anything like this. Facebook likes is one of the most, you know, really evil things about this website, you know? It really, you know, if you don't, people like to think if you don't get a lot of likes on Facebook, you're a loser, but if you get a lot of fucking likes, you're a king of the scene. It's like, I don't base my success and my popularity and my talents on Facebook likes. That's just fucking shallow, you know? Because there's a lot of, like in music, there's a lot of great bands, you know, in my area who have only 1,000 likes, putting out some great music, but there's some fucking bands, some fucking hack of a band who has like 50,000 likes, but can't even draw like 20 people to a live show at a venue. And since when did this whole emphasis that likes really do matter on Facebook really do matter, you know? Because it just makes people more isolated and divided rather than united and joint and blended in together, you know? It's not something I'd like, honestly, and like, it would have been better if Facebook basically did not have the likes or dislike button, honestly, or at all. Well, there is no dislike button, which is fortunate, but no like button. it would have been better if it was just like you post a status and someone could, and I wish there was a way where you could actually disable your Facebook likes on your profile so you don't have to put up with that shallow bullshit, you know. But I guess you got to call Mark Zuckerberg and complain to his ass about it, you know. And fourth, this is gonna be, since I'm running low on time, let me just give a long story short on why the fourth thing I don't like about Facebook. Well, this is gonna be another thing I don't like about, this is gonna be the final one because I'm running low on time. A fourth thing I don't like on Facebook. You know, I don't like the whole idea that, like, you know, if you're in Facebook, right, you have to like, you know, keep yourself in check most of the time, you know, and like, you know, you have to keep yourself checking most of the time, and where you have to post something, you have to like have a certain amount of something to like blend in, you know. Like, I know this doesn't make any sense, but like, you know, it seems like this whole Facebook thing is more of if the people who are mostly appreciated from friends on Facebook are privileged, but I think everyone should have the right to feel appreciated from more people, especially if they work their goddamn hardest and put a lot of effort in what they're doing and stuff like that. Appreciation and love from your peers is not a privilege, it's a right, you know. And I think people should have the right to basically get what they want in their lives if they really work hard for it and basically want it bad enough, you know, rather than just have to deal with the same disingenuous, ungrateful bullshit that's plagued this society since the Tower of Babel in the Bible or Genesis, you know. So those are things I don't personally like about Facebook, really. That if you really want to be you want to have that it factor on the social media, that you have you're privileged, but you don't have a right to get that way, you know. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but that's for you to decide, you know. A lot of things I talked about were pretty much relatable in some sense, are very straightforward, very direct. But that's just me venting about why I don't like Facebook. And, you know, of course people are going to watch this and go, what the fuck? But I'm just going to, but I don't do that kind of Facebook drama shit, you know, if you're going to give me shit. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. This is just a food for thought for everyone, you know. You don't have to take my word for it, but this could help you realize the pitfalls of this whole bad thing that's plaguing a lot of people's lives right now, and you just gotta feel empathy for them, you know, and that's all we can really do, you know what I mean?